Hi, this is Adrienne Marie Peters with Yoga Dance Fitness, and today I'm going to be sharing yoga to help strengthen your glutes. So quite often in yoga we emphasize stretching and lengthening the hamstrings, and this can be really beneficial, but if your glutes aren't strong enough, this can actually cause a problem known as yoga butt. And yoga butt is actually not positive thing like a cute little butt that you get from doing yoga. It is dysfunction that occurs in your glutes, and it can cause a lot of pain. So today I'd like to just spend a little bit of time focusing on glute strengthening. So we are going to begin in tabletop today. And again, I'm still experimenting with this camera and getting the hang of it, so I'll be adjusting the angles. Bear with me. Okay, so coming from tabletop, I'm going to just start with a few cat and cows to warm up the spine. So inhale, you drop the belly down, lift the chest, lift the tail. Exhale, scoop the belly in and up, round the spine. Inhale as you arch, send the heart forward. Exhale as you contract, pulling everything in and up. Inhale, cow tilt, finding that expansion. And exhale, cat tilt, contracting. And then just come back to a nice neutral spine. And then we're going to warm up the hips a little bit here. So take the hands forward and start to circle your hips around. You can bring them all the way back towards the heels and all the way forward, or they can be a little smaller circles as well. So just finding what feels good for you, and you just want to start lubricating those hip joints. You inhale as you come forward, and you exhale as you pull back, and then just switch direction. And if you want more of a warm-up, especially if you want to take some time to really get into the zone and connect with your breath, you can refer to part 1, Yoga for Low Back Pain, where I do a nice long warm-up. This is just kind of a quick warm-up to get us into some glute strengthening exercises. One more circle in this direction, and then we're just going to release back into child's pose and take a few breaths here. Taking a moment to ground, lengthening the spine, sending the hips towards the heels to find that length, and also to find that release in the hips and the low back. And then slowly shift back into your tabletop. So hands are going to stack directly under the shoulders, and knees are going to be right underneath the hips. From here, you're going to take your right leg back behind you, and you're going to actually point your toes this time rather than flexing the foot like we did in part 1. And you're going to then tap the toes down and then lift them back up. You want to be careful not to lift too high, because we're not trying to open up the hip. We want to just keep the hips really nice and neutral, so you just want to lift the leg up to hip height. So you exhale each time you lift, and you want to try to really squeeze the glute at the top of the lift. 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you're going to inhale, take a little lift in that leg, and then you're going to exhale, bend the elbows, little tricep push-up. Good. Inhale, back up. Exhale, push up. Inhale, exhale. And see, I'm not coming down very far. This doesn't have to be a big movement. Just giving the arms a little workout while we're here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now stretch the leg back, inhale, and exhale, bring the foot all the way forward between the hands. So now you're in a low lunge. Just hang out here for a few breaths, stretching the front of the left hip flexor. So you'll notice I do a lot of hip openers along with the glute work, because as much as we want our glutes to be really strong, we want to be careful with creating a lot of tension in the hips. Go ahead and walk your right foot out to the outer edge of the mat, coming into a little lizard stretch here. You can roll to the pinky side of the right foot, allow that knee to just go out to the side. You can come down to the forearms, again keeping the heart lifted, the spine nice and long. And just breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come on back up to the hands, and then you're going to go ahead and take your right leg back behind you. Give it a good stretch, and then set the right knee down. So left side, same thing. Reach the leg back, point the toe, tap, lift, tap, lift, tap, lift. And you're exhaling each time you lift. You want to be really careful to keep the abdominals engaged here, so we want to try not to get too much of an arch happening in the back, so we want to keep everything pulling in and up. 8 more, 7, you're pressing the floor away, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, try to keep your weight centered, and 1. Now if you have any wrist or shoulder issues, this can also be done on the forearms, just as an option. Just be careful not to arch the back here. So you can do the same exercise here. Okay, so you're going to inhale, lift the leg a little bit, finding some length, and it's okay to arch the back a little here. And then you're just going to exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's just do 4 more like that. And 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Stretching the leg back, inhale, and then exhale. Send the left foot forward between the hands. Hang out here in a low lunge. Stretch the front of the right hip flexor. Allow everything to just be kind of heavy. And then heel toe the left foot out to the side, coming down into your lizard stretch here. Maybe rolling onto the pinky side of the left foot, allowing that knee to open outward, keeping the heart lifted, keeping the spine long. Breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come back to the hands. Send the left leg back behind you. Give it a stretch. Inhale and exhale, release. Take the knees wide apart, sit back in a child's pose. Good. From here, you're going to slowly come back up to your tabletop. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And this time, you're going to bend your right knee and float your right leg up off the ground. You're going to point your toe, and we're just going to take little raises here, trying to get that right knee up about hip height. We want to be careful again not to open up the hip, so this is really just a neutral hip exercise. We're emphasizing the right glute here, so you should feel a little squeeze as you lift. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, go ahead and give it a rest. Make sure you're trying to distribute your weight evenly on both palms. Okay, other side. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Keep those abdominals engaged. Sometimes I find that if I try to root down a little bit more through the opposite hand of the side that has the lifted leg, so right now it's my right hand, if I push down a little bit more, it keeps my weight a little more centered. That way I'm not dumping into this left shoulder or wrist. We want to be really careful with our joints always. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. We're going to take a little downward facing dog stretch here. Go ahead and bring the hands forward, curl your toes under, and then hover your knees off the ground for 4, 3, 2, 1. Little core strengthening there. Send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Just stretch out the backs of the legs for a moment. Bend one knee and then the other. Rock your hips side to side. Good. And then start to firm up your down dog. Sending your chest towards your thighs, sinking your heels towards the mat, spreading the fingers wide, pressing the floor away, letting the head be heavy. Once you feel pretty firm in your downward facing dog, you're going to float your right leg back behind you, just like we did in tabletop. We're going to lift and lower. Again, being careful not to open up that right hip, so keeping the hips neutral. Toe is pointed, so when the toe is pointed, it helps us to really access our glutes. When we flex the foot, we get a little bit more into the hamstrings, which is really good work too, but since we're focusing on the glutes today, we're going to be working with a pointed toe a lot of the time. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Inhale, stretch it back, and then exhale, shift forward into plank and hug your knee in towards your nose. Inhale, send the leg back, three-legged down dog. Exhale, step the right foot forward between the hands. Come up to your fingertips, and we're going to make our way up into a high lunge, Anjaliasana. So you're going to press into the ball of the left foot. You may need to step it in a little closer. You want to hug your inner thighs together and slowly make your way up. Hands to hips. Okay, and then from here, you're going to pull your navel in and up. Lift your sternum, spread your collarbones. Feel your ribs cinching in around your midline. You're going to bend that left knee and bring it down so that it hovers just above the ground. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. You have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now straighten the back leg. Get a nice stretch here as you come up high on the ball of that left foot. Reach your arms to the sky. And we're just going to hold high crescent pose, Anjaliasana. Now if your shoulders are really tight, you can always goal post your arms. So goal posting is going to be to have the arms out making an L shape, about 90-degree angles there. This is a really good modification if you happen to have tight shoulders or any shoulder injuries. Otherwise, if you want to go for the full extension, the arms are by the ears, you want to just be careful the shoulders don't climb up into the ears. So keep the shoulders pulling down. Breathe for 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank pose. Good. Inhale, shift your shoulders forward. Now you can exhale, lower down either knees, chest, chin into a low cobra, or you can take a full chaturanga if that's in your practice. Inhale, shift forward, bring the shoulders way in front of the fingertips. Exhale, lower down, hover. Inhale, you can come into upward facing dog if that's within your practice, or you can stay with low cobra. Alternatively, you can take high cobra where the knees rest on the ground, and then you lift up higher about here. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Now, if you need a rest in child's pose here, please take it. 3 breaths in either downward facing dog or child's pose. Okay, left side. Okay, left leg stretches back, point the toe, lift and lower. Being careful to keep those hips nice and neutral. Abdominals are engaged, so you're supporting and protecting your back. Chest is pressing towards the thighs, so you're still in that down dog shape. Head is relaxed. No tension in the neck. Arms are really strong. You're pressing the floor away firmly. Your triceps are engaged, keeping that really firm foundation through the upper body. We'll take 8 more here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, stretch it back. Exhale, shift forward, knee to the nose. Inhale, stretch it back again. Exhale, step it all the way through. Coming up onto the fingertips. And then maybe you need to step the back foot in a little bit, and then slowly make your way up. Once you come up, adjust your footing as you need to. And then we're going to bend that left knee enough to try to get the left thigh almost parallel to the ground. And then we're going to be high on the ball of the right foot as we lift and lower the right knee. Come down, let it hover, and back up. So it's inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so after your last one here, you're just going to come up, straightening out the right leg. Again, you want to make sure abdominals are pulling in and up, ribs are cinched in, sternum is lifted, and then float your arms up, or you can goal post them. And then hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank, and then lower down either chaturanga into upward facing dog or any variation of cobra, back to downward facing dog, or taking knees, chest, chin. And again, you can do whatever back bend works well for you. So if low cobra feels right, high cobra with the knees on the ground. Just make sure the shoulders are pulled back here. Want to be careful not to dump down into the shoulder joints. Chest is open, shoulders pull back. Or upward facing dog with the knees lifted. And 3 breaths in either downward facing dog or child's pose. Good. From here, you're going to inhale your right leg back behind you. This time, you're going to come into a 3-legged down dog. So you want to lift that right knee up towards the ceiling and start to open up the hip.